Alright, so it's time to look at some live trades, and the first one is pound yen on the 18th of January. So I'm going to demonstrate in the video how I identify a potential trade, how I place the orders, and how I manage the trade. So let's take a look at this first trade on setting up a long trade the range strategy. Okay, so I'm looking at pound yen, 50-minute candles, and looks like it's in a bit of a range. So there's a support somewhere over there, and a resistance over there, right? So I could buy it at the support and exit at resistance. So it's a bullish bias because the 50 moving average is above the 200. And if you look at the hourly candles, it is also on an uptrend. 50 is above the 200, 18 is above the 50. Okay, and one of the rules that is useful to have is that the support level is above the 200 moving average, which it is in this case. So let's take a look at how wide the range is. So from the bottom of the range to the top, it's about 25 to 26 pips. So that's my potential profit, about 25 pips. So in that case, I can afford to risk 12 pips because I'm risking 1 to make 2, right? So I can put my stop loss about 12 pips below the intended entry price. So I can size my position by saying, okay, I'm going to give myself a 12 pip stop loss. I'm going to risk 2% on my account, and I'm going to trade 0.98 lot. So that's how you calculate the lot size. So we're going to trade 0.98 lots. I'm going to put a buy limit order at 153.69. And stop loss will be 12 pips below 153.57, and profit target be about 153.95. Okay, so there you go. I've placed my order, and we shall see if the price indeed will come down to this green line. That is my buy limit order. So only when it goes to the green line or below would it fill the order, and hopefully after it fills, it will revert back to the top of the range and I'll exit exit with a profit. Okay, so again, notice that this support has been tested once, twice, 3 times. So there's a support that's been tested 3 times. So it is a reasonably strong support with the 50 moving average as an additional support, right? And the stop loss is below the 50 moving average. That gives it a bit more protection. All right, so let's see what happens. Does the order get filled? All right, it's been a few minutes, and as you can see, the price indeed came down to the buy limit order. So our trade has been triggered. We got in at 153.696. I did change it slightly by 1 pip up, my entry price, and my stop loss 1 pip up as well. So my stop loss is still 12 pips away. So again, I've got 12 pip buffer, and from the entry to the target price is about 25 pips. So there is a good 1 to 2 risk to return ratio on the trade, and we shall see how it turns out. Alright, so checking up on our trade, as you can see, we bought here, alright, and that's our target price, that's our stop loss. So it's gone as we planned. It bounced off the support and the 50 moving average, and it's moving towards the target price. So we are pretty close to the target price right now. And once it hits the target price, you will exit with a winning trade of 2R. So that is how you trade the range, right? So if you take a look over here at our terminal, here, you can see bought at this price, there's a stop loss, target price is going to be hit, so it's in green, and you can see the running profits over there. Alright, so that's how you place an order for trading a range. Alright, so my trade just hit the target profit. As you can see, once it hits the target profit, the lines are gone. So this next example is on Frank Yen on the 28th of December. And again, this is an example of a live trade which I attempted to take, but the order was not filled. And that happens sometimes in trading. In trading, you may identify a great potential setup and you place your orders, but it doesn't get filled. And when that happens, you will then cancel your orders. So this is a good example of a great setup that just did not get triggered. So again, take a look at how I identified the setup, how it met the rules, how I placed the orders, and how I eventually canceled the trade. Alright, so I'm spotting a potential trade on Frank Yen on the M15 candles. As you can see, this price is in a consolidation, right? We have got a strong, we've got a resistance there. We've got a support over here. It's been tested once, twice, 3 times. Looks like the price is coming back down to hit the support. So I want to be a buyer at this level. And again, I'm confident that it will bounce back up because there's an uptrend bias, right? The 50 moving average is above the 200 moving average. The bias is going up, okay? Now, so let's take a look at where I'll place my buy order. So I'll probably place my buy order somewhere here, right at the support level at 115.14. Thereabouts, okay? So where would I put my stop loss? Now I'll put my stop loss at least 8 pips below my entry price, right? At least 8 pips. So 115.14 minus 8, what's that? 115.14 minus 8, that's 115.06. So my stop loss would be at 115.06. Can you see that? That'll be my stop loss. Now, in this case, if I buy over here, right, that's my entry price, and this is my stop loss price. Okay, stop loss. This would be my 1 hour distance, 1 hour. So if it can reach back to the resistance, how many hours is that? Right, that's actually it's about more than 3 hours. So I'm risking 1 to make 3. Now I don't have to be so, well, use the word greedy, right? I'm pretty happy if 1 is to 2 or 1 is to 2.5. So I would rather be a bit more conservative, and I would rather give myself a bigger stop loss. So instead of 8 pips, I can afford to give myself 10 pips, for example, to 115.04. Why can I afford to give myself a wider stop loss? Because my profit target is very reachable, given that the resistance is pretty far away. So I can still get 1:2 with a wider stop loss, which will make me feel a bit secure, because I want the stop loss to be below that 200 moving average, so that 200 moving average acts as a support level for me. Make sense? Okay. Now at the same time, let me check the hourly candle. So go to H1, and you can see on the hourly candles, it is also a clear uptrend with the 18 EMA above the 50 EMA above the 200 SMA. So H1 is aligned to M15. They must always be aligned. They both must be on a clear uptrend. And you can see that on the hourly candles, if I place my stop loss at 115.04, which is this line over here, it is below the 50 moving average. And again, that gives me an added buffer of support to protect my stop loss. So this is a pretty decent trade that I think is of good probability, and I'm willing to take this trade. So this is Frank Yen. And how I would size my position using the sizing calculator. So if my account size is 5,002 and I want to risk 2%, I place my stop loss. In this case, I'm putting the stop loss at 10 pips away. I select Frank Yen as my currency calculate, and you can see the number of lots will be 1.17. So I'll trade 1.17 lots, which is 117,000 Swiss francs. Okay, so 1.17. Okay, so I'm going to click new order. 1.17, and I'm going to put a buy limit order. So pending order, buy limit, and I'm going to buy only if it reaches 11514. 11514. Stop loss would be at 11504, 10 pips away, and my profit target would be near the resistance, so I could put it at 11542. Okay, so let me see, 11542 minus 11514 is potentially making 28 pips. All right, so I'm risking 10 pips to make 28 pips. That's a pretty good risk to return ratio. Okay, it's like risking 1 to make 2.8 thereabouts. Okay, if I want to be a bit more conservative, and I say, okay, let's not be greedy, let's just make 1:2, you can also do that. So let's be a bit more conservative and say, okay, I just want to make 20 pips. I'm risking 10 to make 20. All right, so my profit target would be 11514 plus 20, 11534. So let's just place the profit target 11534 if you want to be more conservative, because it may not reach that resistance, right? So I'm going to place the order. There we go. Okay, so this green is my entry. It will only be triggered if the price goes down and hits that, and I expect it to bounce up right after that. My stop loss is below the 200 moving average. That's protecting me. I've got an uptrend bias, and my profit target is simply just reaching this red line over there. Right? I'm not even looking at going back to resistance. If I can reach that red line, I'm risking 1 to 2. That's a pretty good deal, and I'm pretty happy for that. Again, if you're more aggressive, there's nothing wrong with putting your profit target higher and getting more than 1 to 2, right? It really depends on your style of trading and how conservative, how aggressive you want to be. I'm just showing you the most conservative style you can find. All right, so let's wait a while and see if it hits our buy entry. Okay, so I'm following up with the franc yen trade, which I placed the buy order over here, the stop loss over here, and the profit target over here. So I was hoping that it would go down and hit my buy order, and then go up and hit my profit target. But as you can see that it never reached my buy order. It didn't go down to the support level, right? In fact, over here it kind of like reversed back up, and it looks like it's really going back up. So in trading, this happens, kind of like fishing, right? You put your bait there, you're hoping the fish would bite, and sometimes the fish bites, you know, but sometimes the fish doesn't bite. And well, if the fish doesn't bite and doesn't take the bait, right, then the trade is no longer going to be a valid trade. So in this case, I would just cancel the order and move on to the next trade, and again put in my bait and see which fish would bite. And again, as long as a fish bites once in a while, I'm going to make a pretty good, decent profit. Okay, so I'm going to cancel the trade because never reached my intended buy order. This is franc yen and 15 candles.